Hey guys, haven't seen you guys in a while. I do apologize for that. Basically, I've realized when I was saying before there were some things that I wanted to do that I just haven't gotten around to. That was things like making new 3D graphics for the channel, making some music for the channel. Now I have made some progress in that area. I have gotten myself a smaller version of the keyboard that I can actually use on my desk efficiently. And I've gotten the Cubase. I've gotten the Cubase software that I'm getting used to using. So I'm making some progress on that. The problem that I've had is I love streaming. I'm enjoying streaming. I'm enjoying the interaction. And unfortunately, when I'm doing 3D graphics, I don't have the ability to continue streaming while my machine's doing all that work. I've also run into issues where while my machine is a really good machine and I'm playing games on it and I'm enjoying it, once I got this 144 hertz or 165 hertz monitor, I noticed that I can't run the games at full speed or I'm running anywhere close. But because I have all the streaming stuff going on as well, and my scenes are getting more complicated, it's just making things jittery and less responsive. So what I've always wanted to do that I've always been kind of like, I don't need to yet. I've gotten to that point where I need a streaming box and a gaming box. That way I can be rendering graphics or doing anything that's completely bogging down my main PC. And with the capture card, nothing will affect the quality of the stream while that's going on. I also have issues right now where I'm just loading Minecraft and it starts jittering during the broadcast because the system's busy doing that work of loading up the world. So I am going to be building a new main gaming PC, and then basically my side rendering box is going to become my streaming box. And then this PC is too powerful to be just a streaming box, so it's going to be sitting on my other desk where my daughter can use it and so forth, so she doesn't have to use my arcade machine in order to make little, fun videos on our YouTube channel. So we are going to be building a new PC today. We are going to be building a Ryzen 9 3900X system with a 2080 Ti RTX video card, so it's going to be awesome and fun to build that. But helping me remember in the process is going to be my nephew Hunter. Now you've seen in previous videos, my nephew Jimmy has been on some videos, and I don't believe you've had the pleasure of working with Hunter before. So Hunter, go ahead and unmute. So this is my nephew Hunter, and he's going to be helping walk us through this PC build. Now I normally would have loved to have had him come over and work with me to build the PC the way Jimmy was able to during the tornado scares when he was here last. But unfortunately, we can't do that with COVID. So I have all the pieces here, and Hunter is going to be directing me on what to do. Hopefully he remembers the last time we built a PC. If not, hopefully. Now, that being said, this is just for fun. I've been dying to get some content out to you guys, but like I said, I've been procrastinating because when I want to go build those 3D videos, I feel like I'm just not getting something done because while I'm working, you guys aren't getting any content. And as a result, that roadblock has kept me from getting you guys any content anyway. So by doing this, what I'm going to do is on my Twitch channel for Mavericks Arcade is where I'm going to be doing live streams when I'm working on these 3D graphics and so forth. So that way I'm still getting some sort of content out to you guys. And during those streams, I would love for you guys, if you have questions, to come and join me and ask me those questions live. That way I'm still getting some content with you guys. I'm still getting to interact with my community that I'm still trying to grow. Again, getting to have the personal satisfaction of feeling productive of getting some content out. So I'm thinking that's going to be a motivational factor. Also, when I'm working on the music for the channel, I'll be doing that on the Twitch channel as well. And luckily, I'll be able to do all this stuff with a separate PC so it doesn't affect my performance. The only downside is I'm going to have like 5 monitors on my desk by the time this is all done. It's going to be quite busy. So let's discuss the parts. Now, one thing is I didn't even realize when I bought this power supply. Check this out, Hunter. It's got built-in RGB. And it says it's near fanless, which I guess means it's just because it's got one fan. But it's got a freaking RGB in the power supply. I wasn't expecting that. And then what's funny is my old video card. I was telling you before this stream started that the, oh no. Oh no. I just realized something, and I'm glad I realized it now. But you've been muted the whole time. Yeah, let me find that button and get you. The problem is I haven't been on this in so long. Okay, so let's go back. Luckily, guys, he's not said much at all yet. Oh, that's the reason why normally when I'm recording these, I don't have my headset on. I have computer audio. Go ahead and say something.
Hello?
Okay, so this is where, guys, everybody, again, this is Hunter.
Hello.
He is again my nephew, and he is going to be helping us build this PC today. Now, luckily, like I said, there hasn't been much communication between him and I yet, so I'm glad I caught it. But yeah, so this thing's got RGB thing that's crazy. I did notice my old video card had RGB on it, but it was a pain in the ass to control. You had to do it specifically through the software. But my old video card is ironic. This happened completely by accident. My old video card was a 1080 Ti Aurorus Extreme, so it was overclocked a little bit already. My new card I got is also an Aurorus Extreme 2080 Ti. So, as you can see, the box is bigger than the freaking motherboard box. And then we've got a X570 Aurorus Ultra motherboard. Now, let me also say, I am not sponsored. I do not have sponsors. God knows I would love to have a sponsor. I don't even drink coffee, but I'll take coffee sponsors at this point. Come on, people. But anyway, we're building also Ryzen 9 3900X. Now, I'm not getting that much performance upgrade out of this processor. Just the processor that I do for my i7 7700K. However, it's got way more cores. It's way faster for Blender. And that's some of the 3D graphics that I want to be doing. But as I was telling Hunter, we're also getting the PCI speeds, the speeds of the board itself, the speed of the memory. All of those factors are also much faster than my old boards. So therefore, the slightly faster processing plus the less of a bottleneck on the motherboard itself and the rest of the other upgrades, including going from when I first got the M2 drives, I did not realize the difference between NVMe and the SATA drives. So I didn't get any of the benefits of those M2 slots on my other machine or on this machine. The new machine has true NVMe drives. Do you know what the difference is with that again, Hunter? Do you remember?
No, I do not think I do.
Okay, so the drives that plug into your machine, the regular drives, they connect through, and that's the other thing. We're doing a 8 terabyte slow drive for storage. And then we have, a cheap 2 terabyte inland drive, which is apparently Micro Center's brand. And then we have a SSD NVMe 1 terabyte Intel drive for my boot drive. And then, of course, we have more RGB fans. Good times. And then, lastly, we're going to be doing a 64 gigabyte kit. It is two 32 gig sticks. The motherboard can support 128 gigs of RAM. So I could buy another one of these kits later and have 128 gigs of RAM in my machine. Now, the difference, back to our question, the difference between this and this, besides the storage size, obviously, what is in my old machine is this technology in this size. And the difference is this technology is SATA. And let's see. So let me give you the numbers here. I don't want to be wrong, so I'm going to look it up real quick. SATA 3 versus NVMe speed. So yeah, basically, I just didn't know the numbers offhand. So approximately, where the hell is it? So SATA. Oh, damn it. So these drives supposedly have like a rate speed of about 560 megabytes a second, right? Yes. And then the NVMe drives. Oh, sorry. 600 megabytes a second is what SATA 3.6 GBS is 600 megabytes a second. These suckers, well, this one's advertised in here. Read speed up to 3,200 megabytes a second versus 600 of SATA, and a write speed of 2,900 megabytes a second versus less than 600 for SATA. So you can tell it's like 5-6 times faster for this little, and the size much different. So if you had a 1 terabyte drive this size versus a 1 terabyte drive this size, what's funny is you don't have you seen these in use yet, Hunter?
I've been watching a couple videos where people build PCs, and I've seen them use those little.
They're amazing
ramps.
because they're
Yeah.
on the board and you don't even see them. What is the first step we do?
Well, I would think that the first step would normally be to take out the motherboard.
Good. Now here's the funny part. Until recently, I saw some Linus Tech Tip videos and some Jay's 2 Cents.
Yeah, I watch him.
I do love those guys, and I am so jealous of all the shit that gets sent for free. I'm like, and that's why I keep saying I don't have a sponsors. I had to pay for this myself, which is fine. I don't expect anything else. It's just that when you see this, don't expect like I'm just rolling in it. All right, so we had some technical difficulties, and the problem was, as I was trying to turn on the top-down camera, we did not have enough bandwidth because I have USB hubs all over the place. That's the other thing is, I sit here, and my desk is over there where it has my PC, and I have extenders running the line. Now, when I run those extenders, it's creating congestion on my USB hubs, and it's also creating a distance issue with my video cables and all that stuff. So I have had a performance issue from that. The reason why I did that is because of, with the old VR, with the sensors having to be mounted and everything, I wanted my VR stuff to be on that side of the room. Now, with the new VR, the Rift S that I have, it has the cameras, so I don't have sensors mounted. So with this new system also, I'm happy because I'll be able to play VR from my desk with my flight games and my driving games and not have to go over to the other side of the room. That'll give me a lot more control and awareness of what's going on. And then if I have a room-sized game, like I'm trying to learn to play Skyrim for the first time, that I can play now over in this space, which I'm going to use for VR. And then this PC that's going to go on that side will have my old VR with the sensors. So the kids can still play full room VR on that side. I can play full room VR on this side. And for the first time, we won't bump into each other if we're playing a 2-player game. So this is going to be awesome. I'm very excited about it, but it will also solve issues where I'll be able to have things plugged directly into my PC much easier. But back to business. We now have this top-down view, and as Hunter suggested, we're going to open this up. But first, I'm going to take a little sip of soda, because that was a lot of running around. Now, it's so pretty. A shitload of stickers, man.
Oh, wow.
I'm bad about that. Now let me make sure I don't get spit in my mouth. Don't want to spit on this board. So, it's pretty.
Yeah, so now I'm guessing you would probably put, once you have all that done, you'd probably do the RAM, right? Once all that's done.
That's not the step they're telling me. What's the next step I do? Besides take off this annoying stuff. Which I should do at the end, but I take it off now so I don't forget it. And while I hate having easy access.
Are they telling you to put the CPU in?
That is what they're telling me. So we will do that after you get this little annoying piece of plastic off here.
After you get
So
that satisfying peel done.
Yeah, the little rip, rip, rip. Okay, so that's like, is that protected plastic or is that
Is that part to the?
is that the finish right there? Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's the finish. Okay, so we're going to grab our processor, and again, this is a Ryzen 9 3900. How's this one? Okay, so it's got a little seal on the back. I need to use scissors and I'm going to shred this apart. But I don't know who the person at Intel was that decided to make that annoying plastic box. Because Brian, when we built his PC, he had the annoying plastic box, and he damn near dropped his processor too. And Linus Tech Tips, he always drops the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to pop this out. Now, again, when you're working with a processor, how do you know which angle you're supposed to put it in at?
There is a very tiny arrow, right?
Okay. Oh, so see the arrow is on this side over here. And that should...
And there should be a small arrow on the processor as well.
Yeah, and a lot of times what they'll do is they will make it so that it's facing the upright when the case is up. So we're going to carefully get this out of here. I'm going to look on the bottom side, and our arrow's right here.
Yep.
So, right there for the camera. And our other arrow's right down here in this corner. Right there. So in which case, that means the chip is going this way. Interesting. It's sitting right there. It's gentle. We'll leave it there. And then bring this bar down. So we have a chip in there. Now this processor.
Does it come with thermal paste or? It
came with a cooler already. That's an RGB cooler, and it's their standard Wraith cooler. Now my other AMD machines, they run perfectly fine with that cooler, so I feel no reason to replace it. So let's see. Damn, this thing's big. Now it has... I did buy extra thermal paste in case I need it, but this thing has a very well-placed amount on the back, and it may not be the best performing stuff. Like, I know a lot of times they'll nitpick. They'll be like, well, this paste performs better.
Or they'll cheap out on it sometimes, too.
Well, no, I'm saying that on the show, they'll usually, on TV things like...
Oh.
They'll usually scrape it off and then put their own, and I'm like, you know what? I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. Now, this fan is going to go... Here's the pieces. So I'm just looking. So if it's on this way, then the AMD logo is in the right spot. And then I should have a CPU fan up here. Yes, I do. There's the headers for the fan right there. Here's what's funny, too, is when I was younger building PCs, they didn't have all these beautiful labels on the board. You had to kind of figure out where things were. And this is nice. This is a much nicer attachment. So this side I hook down. And then this one slides, but it has a lever here. So it's much easier to connect than previous versions of fans that I've had to deal with.
Put it here, see if it works.
So we're going to put this on here, set it there gently. We're hooking this side of it, which is a fixed position. This is the one that rotates. So then I rotate this bar down and loosely throw it over the other hook. That's the way to pull it up. So this way. Excuse me, sir. Okay, so that's the locked position. This is the unlocked position. Okay. I just want to make sure, because in the past I've tried to like push and I hear a click and I'm like,
yeah.
So this isn't the right position. It's going to feel wrong flipping this, but there it goes. It's now locked. Good. That was way less dramatic than previous years.
I remember with my PC, when the old one, when we took it apart and had to put it back
Mm-hmm.
together, we had to put in all those tiny little screws and.
It's very disconcerting when that happens too. Okay, so let's see
Yeah.
here. We have CPU fan headers right here, nicely labeled. Okay, so what's the next thing we gotta do? We got the CPU installed, we got the fan connected and configured. Or, yeah, it's connected.
Okay, so now would probably be the sticks, the RAM sticks.
This is correct. Now, the one thing that's funny is you a lot of times have to check and see which slots to put them in. So these are dual channel memory. So we have so what this is saying is with dual channel memory, so I have to choose A1 and B1 or A2 and B2. So A1 and B1 are A1 and B1 or A2 and B2. I'm going to go with A2 and B2 just so that it's a little farther away from the processor. And again, this is a 64 gig kit, so it's got two 32 gig sticks in it. And I did that because this motherboard has a max of 128, and I want to have the option to increase some RAM. Don't know if I would ever need to. I don't know how much stuff I'm going to be doing that's going to fully utilize the RAM, especially when, well, I guess rendering. I don't know, because even rendering, that's all graphics processor. But I have the RAM if I need it. Now, this is also RGB RAM. It's let me get Corsair or Crucial Ballistics RAM sticks. So again, we're looking at where that notch is, and we're dropping it in here. And why they built it, I hate that part. Why they built it where when this thing's mounted, oh, the words will be sideways, not upside down, so that's fine. Just hate that part. All right, so the RAM is mounted.
Okay.
Now, what's our next step?
Next step, I'm guessing would be, so you have the RAM. So now the next step, would that be the, what's it called? The hard drive? Or no, it wouldn't be
Yes.
that. Wait, it would?
Well, what kind of hard drive?
Would it be the internal?
Mm-hmm. Because we have better access to the board right now. The key is that the manual actually was saying the next step was to put it in the case. But that's because the manual was not considering these on board NVMe drives. So these little NVMe drives are much harder to get to when the board is in the case. Right now, what was D? D was for addressable LEDs. You know what those are?
Aren't those ones adjustable where you can turn them on and off or change the color? I'm guessing.
Well, so for example, with the normal RGB along the line, the R controls all of the red lights.
Red lights, and then G is green, and then blue.
So that long strip you get, whatever you set the red for is true for the whole strip. Okay? Addressable means each light can be individually controlled digitally.
Okay. Yeah.
So you could get some strips in a case that goes around the case like this, and because it's addressable, it could do an animation pattern.
Yeah.
Right.
Where it can be like red, green, blue, and then blue, green, red, and then. right?
Right, but each
Yeah.
light bulb in the string is individually controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can have a different color. It's kind of like a rainbow or whatever.
hmm Now you may be asking, shut up, where's your anti-static stuff? You are correct. I've never used anti-static stuff. I should have. I should know better. What I'm doing in the meantime is I'm touching a piece of metal that's under my desk. So I am grounded, but it does not look like the responsible thing.
Yeah, I was watching this
But
video.
I've not had an issue yet, knock on wood.
I was watching a video where this little kid was doing all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was switching something out on a computer. I guess he watched something about how you want to have like anti-static things. And so this kid goes, okay, so first you want to touch the power supply to get rid of any static.
Jesus.
I was like, okay.
When I was a kid, I remember the old CRT screens were
Yeah.
static. There were tons of static. You touched them, your hair would stand up, you know. And one time I was looking at the keyboard. I was trying to figure out some source code. I'm looking at the code. I go and touch the screen as I'm holding the keyboard. I felt it zapped me.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap. It's just ridiculous to me. I remember when I was your age, I ran a BBS. How old are you again?
15.
Okay, actually, I was young. No, I ran a BBS, and I bought my own drive for $350, something like that. It was a Mac Store drive. It was a 1 gigabyte drive for almost $400. And it's funny to me that this has a terabyte of data on it.
Yeah.
And it's like 10, 12 times faster than that drive used to be. It's insane. So, again, we're going to very gently set this over here. We're going to feel it pop in there very gently. And it likes to stick up in the air like this. And then I'm supposed to use, and that's the thing on the other machine too, as I never actually fastened these down on the old machine. The heatsink was holding them in place. And while that does actually work okay, it's not a major problem. You're supposed to like use this little stand, put it here. If it's not the full size, you put it here to fasten it down. So we're gonna do it correctly this time. Kids don't hold things apart with your teeth.
Don't eat plastic.
So that is the piece that we're gonna use. So I'm gonna pull the stick back out, set it right there. That's the last peg. So we're gonna screw that in there, finger tight. And the other thing too is I didn't realize there's a little removable thing on here. And it's funny, when I first started working with these, I built the whole machine, then realized that I had to go back and take it off. But it's got sticky stuff underneath. So it will actually stick to your NVMe drive, and it acts as a heat transfer as well.
Oh.
So it's a protector, and it's cooling. So I don't know if you knew that part or not, but it's not just to protect, it's also to cool. It's a heat sink.
That's pretty cool.
Because the one thing, again, these drives are solid, so they don't make any noise, which is nice, but they do still generate heat. So it's nice to have that heat sink and the cooling and all that. And that's the only thing that sucks. I really want storage, so I'm going to have an 8 terabyte moving drive in here. So otherwise, if I wouldn't need that one drive, it would have been a completely silent machine. But I'm going to be working with 3D graphics, other things like that. I definitely need the storage. So, give and take, but at least I'll only have one moving drive inside. Let's see, is this the right size screwdriver? Yes, it is. So this is the part that makes me a little bit nervous, is I hate potentially dropping screws all over the motherboard.
Oh,
and I agree with you, dude. We watched Bumblebee last night.
yeah.
Oh my god. So to anybody out there who has not watched the Bumblebee movie because they've been dismayed by all the other Transformer movies besides the first one, watch Bumblebee.
I love it.
It was a good movie. And it was funny as hell.
Yeah.
Bumblebee was cute. Like, who would think Bumblebee would be cute? What just fell out? Something fell.
Yeah, I saw something. It fell on your lap and then it fell down.
What? Yeah, I have this.
Looked like it was a screw. Something.
Where would another screw have come from? That doesn't sound right. Oh. There's a piece of paper.
Oh.
That's weird. Yeah, okay. Whew. I'm a little nervous there. Alright. Should be alright. So, anyway, yeah, that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
And what I loved is in the first scene, because one thing I did not like, even about the reboot of the Transformers, was they changed like the new, and I understand they do all this stuff to make it appealable to the younger generations, but from the first one, I was like, those aren't the right vehicles. That's not how the Transformers acted. That's not how they sounded. You know, these are, and like when they made his second in command kind of like, yeah, let's go, guns out. That was not
Yeah.
the Transformers. Be really careful here not to scratch a board. I hate this when these little baby screws, because I got big fat hands. These little baby screws fall down. It makes me really annoyed. But, okay. Ooh, there we go. Got it threaded. The one thing I like about the screwdriver is I put my finger there, and it rotates underneath. Okay, so that's fastened down. We're now going to remove that little protective stuff. And then we're going to put the lip in here and let it set down on top. Now, you want to line this up, because once you touch it, it's going to stick. So you don't want to be like sideways when you're lowering it and then have to go back and readjust. So just be careful that you're lining up to the screw as you bring it down so you don't have to return things. And then you get the screw on there. And the screw's on there. So this is now locked in place. The heat sink's on there. We're going to do the same thing with this one.
But I do like I recommend the Bumblebee movie. It was really good.
Yeah. Well, the thing is in the intro scene, like, I rewound it twice and annoyed Jenna and Alex because they never watched Generation 1. But, like, when they first show the scene and they show Prowler.
Yeah.
And Prowler has the appropriate light up things on both sides of his head. I haven't seen them. And then you see Starscream and you see... Because at first Alex goes, they're on Cybertron, why is he a car? And I'm like, no, he's not an Earth car. He is a car from Cybertron. And the ones that look like Starscream, the airplane-looking one, it transformed into the three-wing thing from the original TV pilot. From the original episode, when they were on Cybertron, they turned into those vehicles. And Alex is like, no, he's a Camaro again. And I'm like, no, that's like a Ferrari-looking kind of car that's not on Earth.
Yeah, when I first
And I said, watch his chest. When he transforms, it's changing when he changes car modes.
Yeah.
And they did it correctly. And I was just like,
but when
it's so awesome.
When I saw Bumblebee, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things I thought is, like, he's not the right car. That's not the same car.
Right.
But then, if you watch later in the movie, you can see that he turns into different cars.
Right, and in the reboot of the Transformers, that happened. Yeah. Now, one thing that is different, because you never saw the first Transformers.
No.
In the first Transformers and in the original show, they couldn't change themselves. They were one type of Transformer forever.
They were that car forever. Or
unless what had first happened was... Because on the original planet, they would transform into things that were native to that planet, or even when there was one, there was like a light post. Like, that is a really boring transformer to always be a light post, but they were for spying and stuff, right? But the thing was, he, in the original Transformers, when they crash landed on Earth, the Decepticons and the Autobots were both fighting on the ship when it crashed. And then it, like, apparently laid crash for like 1 million years. And then somehow an earthquake made the main computer wake up of the ship. And the main computer changed all of them into new transforming based on Earth.
Oh,
So
okay.
like the computer Teletran 1 scanned the Earth and found what was common on Earth, and then used that
Yeah.
to make them transform into other things. So that's a little different from the original, where they could change into whatever they wanted to, whenever they wanted to.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that in the original show, but they did copy it from the thing, and I do love how they reused some of the lines from the rebooted movie. And I love how at the end of the reboot, he turns into the Camaro and drives off,
Yeah.
which works because that's how he's going to be introduced into the reboot. So they kind of kept things okay, almost this where it fit perfectly in with the reboot, except for Prime's on Earth before he should be.
Yeah, and like at the end of Bumblebee, same.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Prime wasn't supposed to be there, but I love that they show Prime the way Prime's supposed to look. And Alex goes, "Look, he's a truck already." And I'm like, "No, he's not." Because if you look in the intro, when they first open up and you see Prime,
You see him
his
fight.
shoulders are not exhaust pipes.
Yeah.
They're like laser beams or something, or laser guns. They don't become exhaust pipes until he becomes a tractor trailer.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And it takes
so
different parts from him, turns it in, and
right. So all right, so we now have the NVMe drives installed. They look pretty. They look hidden, which is awesome, which is what we want. What is our next step?
well, now will the next step be the power supply? Or no, not the power supply.
Where-
Was the MVM? What was it again?
The NVMe drives are now both installed.
Yeah. So wouldn't it be the hard drive?
Where would the hard drive go?
Well, that would be in the case.
Okay,
So wouldn't it be putting the motherboard in the case?
there you go. All right, so what we have for that is we have another copy of the case I already used, which is the NZXT H510, which again, no sponsor, but I do like it. It's pretty, it's compact, it allows me to hide my cables, and even better, it's cheap. Now, one thing I do have to do real quick, we have to take a quick stand up and place break because we have been stuck in our houses for Corona. I'm trying to listen to when my watch tells me to stand up, so we are. And I'm getting fat, that's also a problem. So we're going to stand up, stretch the back, or at least enough to fool my watch into thinking that I'm, moving around.
Yeah.
Come on, say you did it.
Go like this a couple times.
All right, we're sitting back down.
Like you're running.
Nobody needs to see me jazzercise. All right. Now I believe this thing should already have all the right positions in place for this motherboard. Now we have this nice big fan up here. However, let's see, we got 1, 2. Now the power supply is going to have well, it's got RGB, but the problem is you can't see it with this case because this part down on the bottom will cover things up. Get my keyboard moved for now. Just put it over there. Don't fall.
Make sure you don't have a hockey to end the recording in it.
Right? Watch my finger hit the record button. Okay, so then I've got this nice little bar here. I've got the space for the motherboard in here. I got my power supply space in here. Now, this... And it was really weird when I first saw these cases because they don't have anything for the front anymore. It's just a sleek, blank front.
Yeah.
Which is just so weird compared to, like, the PCs when I was younger. But it also has... These two little screws can come out so that I can put a whole fan assembly in there. So here's what I'm trying to decide. I have an RGB motherboard fan, right? And then I have an RGB power supply. The motherboard's got RGB on it as well. And then I have these 3 Corsair RGB fans. Now, this front part is just dark. So I'm wondering should I move the dark fan to the front here and put one Corsair fan in here so the light can go that way? And then maybe I'm just trying to figure out where I want these fans to be.
Yeah.
Because this one I definitely would want to be one of the RGB ones. And probably the top one too. To distribute the light a little bit. But I want one on the front, even though I won't be able to see on this side.
You'll be able to see it shining in.
I'd be able to see the light coming in from it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking one down here. So let's readjust those fans while we're here.
Or would you want one in the middle so it would be like evenly dispersed as possible?
Well, I'm looking at this fan thing. This front fan thing only has 2 fan slots.
Oh.
And then down here there could be fans. Could be 1 fan. But I'll already be getting some light from the RGB fan and the power supply there.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe... Well, I guess actually with the RGB fan here, I could do this and then 2 in the front. No, 1 in the front, 1 up here. Yeah. Alright, so we'll mess with all that stuff. I guess I should do that before the board's in there, right?
Probably, so you have more room to manage it.
Yeah. So this thing is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans in it, plus a quarter fan. Okay, cool. All right, so now we're moving on to mounting the motherboard. I'm checking the spots here to make sure that all the posts seem to be already the holes that I need on there. So I'm comparing now. We got those 2 back there, this forward one. This one here, and then 2 there. Yep. And then down on the bottom.
I might have figured out the reason that I think I know why my webcam wasn't working.
Why is that?
Because he doesn't have his own webcam, so he uses the one that I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
And we're plugging it into a different computer each time.
As long as you put it back in the same port, though, you should be okay next time. So just since you marked it, let me know if that helps you, because that might fix it.
All right.
Okay, so the next part is putting in the...
Mounting the motherboard.
Now, also, though, okay, so the power supply is going to come from the backside, so that's fine. Okay, so we are putting this down in here, gentle. We're good. I was just getting nervous. Okay, so what's my next step? We got the motherboard mounted. We've got the fan cables, the fans mounted, and the cables run to where they're going to be done later. What's our next step?
Next step, wouldn't that be the GPU?
Nope. Before the GPU.
Power supply.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and put this down over here.
Ooh, that's cool.
And again, the only reason why we touched the fans at all was because it was more convenient to try to do it before I put the motherboard in the way.
Yeah.
So next is the GPU. So let's put our camera
Man
back
down.
over here. Yeah, right here now. Yes, there we go. Alright, so we're going to flip this up and backwards. This way. And we will step back here. We'll do management. It's time to do management. Stay. We got our microphone ready. Yes, sir.
The massive GPU box.
So pretty.
Just massaging the box, caressing the box.
Yes. Make love to the box. Okay.
Must be one with the box. It's a boxception.
Ooh.
It was a boxception. Okay.
It's so pretty.
Oh, that logo's really pretty.
Ow.
It changes color.
And then inside there's another one.
Ooh.
And inside here we have warranty information and like how the card works and stuff. Nothing really major in there. I haven't seen anything yet from the store. I really hope I get some free video games from buying all this stuff. Okay, so now this is one thing that's kind of cool. Because the cards are heavy, they include a little thing to rest the card on, to lift it up from the base of the computer so it doesn't weigh down on the motherboard.
Yeah.
And then you assemble how high you need it from these little extensions.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's just a neat little thing that they provided.
They package that like it's just pure gold.
Right. And then another AORS sticker. So these are the parts for the extender thing. And yeah. So I'll check that out in a minute. Does this come up? Nope. I think the only other thing in here is the actual card. That's why they have that. That's also why they included that lifter thing. It's because the card's heavy as shit. Oh no, I can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. I have on my Oh, that's pretty.
So this has RGB on it. God, the amount of writing on the bottom of this thing, like how small that text is ridiculous. But it's got 3 fans. And what's cool is if you look, they actually cross paths with each other.
Yeah.
So like the top part of the one blade is cut. And the lower part of the other blade's cut. So they actually are spinning like this.
Yeah, they're spinning like you.
Yeah, on top of each other. But it's because these fans go out, the other one goes in, so it's keeping the air circulating. And that's if I had the NV Link, which is if I had 2 of these cards, which God knows I'm not going to have 2 of these cards. But then it's got the thing that's actually for my Oculus, like to support it better.
Oh.
How to set up the little stand they gave me. So, let's see. What time is
it? Or startup time?
I'm going to clean up just a little bit in the back. I'm going to go up and reheat some food. So we're going to get it hooked up, everything ready to power and test. But we ain't going to do it until after I get my food cooked. Because here's a little tip for you if you're building computers. Okay?
Yeah.
You get to the point where you're ready to power it up. Take a break. You know why?
So everything can have time to settle and set.
Nope.
Because you're going to be hungry.
Well, you've spent a good amount of time attempting to build a PC, right?
Yeah.
Now, if it works, all is good. If it works, you move on your way, you start installing your OS, you have fun.
Yeah.
What happens if it doesn't work?
Then you're going to want to go back immediately and go back.
You're going to say, damn it, let me fix this first. And the next thing you know, it'll be 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You're hungry, you're bitchy, and you've not eaten anything.
Okay.
And normally also you do not want to put any panels back on the machine. But I am, only because I'm going to be moving this thing around to the other side. And I do not want things just hanging out in limbo right now. So, I'm breaking one of my own rules by putting this case back on this side. I'm not going to put the glass back on, but
Yeah.
this side I'm securing. Because we're going to see in a moment, after I reheat my food, if this thing will post. So I'm going to stop the recording, and I'm going to start a new recording. I'll splice them together later.
Yeah, just join them.
All right, so I'll be right back. Give me a second to make the food and stuff. All right, so I am back from eating some food before trying to power this on for the first time. Again, the only recommendation, again, I'm not a professional. This doesn't look amazing. It's good for me, though. But it is a recommendation that if you build a PC, don't try to immediately power it on and test it. If you think you're done, get something to eat before you go any further, because if it is jacked up, you're going to forget about everything else, and you're going to end up being hungry and bitchy later. So, I ate some leftover Hooters wings. Yummy. Again, not a sponsor. Would love a sponsor, but I don't have it. So, we're going to try powering this thing off and powering on and praying.
Fingers crossed.
You have an angle to see the case?
I can see the bottom of it.
Okay, so you can see the case there on the screen now.
I see it.
I'm not even going to look. Tell me. Did it do anything?
Nope.
Oh. Whew. Power switch. Power supply.
Okay.
Before you freak out, power supply, check it. Yeah, okay. Okay, ready? Tell me.
Oh, hey!
Does that have lights?
Yeah, a lot of lights.
Whoa, that's a lot of lights. Okay, looking at the screen over here. Uh-oh.
Do you have the screen on the right HD?
Oh, no, okay. I thought it flickered for a minute in a bad way, but it didn't. Wow, that CPU fan's crazy. Okay, but it's not. It sounds like it's rebooting. Oh, wow, the AORS lights across and it changes.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so it may be an issue here where a weird video port.
Yeah, or you might have it in the second display port or whatever. Make sure the monitor's on the right display.
I know.
Setting.
So I'm checking now.
It's loud though.
Actually, it's just the mic.
Oh.
But it's rebooting. That's not good.
Ah, there you go.
Okay. So I'm able to see AORS, which I never could see before.
I saw a mouse.
I think it's rebooting because no OS is found.
Yeah.
I think that's all it's doing. Is it's not reboot. It's BIOS has been reset. Please reconfigure your BIOS. Holy shit! That posted on the first try. He's going to be salty.
That is good.
Oh,
it's pretty.
It's so pretty.
It's pretty.
You saw the USB, the RAM sticks too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You can see them up top over the CPU fan.
And it's like reflecting off the screen and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that cooler. Look at the cooler fan.
Yeah, the rims.
The rims are a different color than the blades.
Yeah. So
that's freaking crazy.
Oh, the rims are changing.
Yeah. And the blades can change.
You know, but oh yeah, there they go. They're changing.
They're independent of each other.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And then look at the RGB light strips. It's like it's.
I didn't know it did all that.
Look at the RAM sticks.
Well, let me make sure I got these pictures. Yes, I did. Yeah, the rim, they can be multiple colors in different directions and all that happy shit.
Yeah, I know.
I knew that. I just didn't know. And look, even the AMD's lit up in white.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. And I like that we decided to have the fan down there. That makes more sense. Dude. Okay, so let's see what we got in here. All 5 fans are showing up in the BIOS. The 8 gig
Yep.
drive is showing up. 64 gigs of showing up.
All right. What's the
Ryzen's
temp?
showing up. Huh?
Temp right now looks like 37 Celsius.
Oh, are you able to see it from that angle?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, man, everything is working. I have all my fans showing up. I have Intel and the 2 terabyte drive is showing up. Now it wants to boot from the first one. No, we want it to boot from the Intel first.
Okay.
Oh, this is a nice BIOS now. It lets you drag things around. And then the 2 terabyte drive. That is NVMe, right?
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
Well, that's what I think I said. I'm not sure if it's showing up that way. Oh, I should be able to click on it and do something. All right, so this is pretty. Let's see.
So now you will need to set up the what is it called though? The Windows.
Oh, yeah, the Windows will be next thing, but then overclock.
Oh, you're overclocking?
Yeah, I'm gonna see how much I can safely overclock, and then also run the memory profile, which I have never been able to do on a system before. And actually, some of the overclocking now is.
That is really pretty.
Wow. Okay, so the processor's correct. LAN address. I just need to check again the. Okay. So where's the? Okay, so there's the drives. Where was I at a second ago where I saw just the beginning? I'll see where it is. When the hell is it? Oh, easy mode. Back into easy mode. Everything looks pretty. PCIe. That's the video card is showing up correctly.
All right.
M2. Okay, so it is showing the M2. Yeah, so they are NVMe's. Good. Oh my god. Everything is just perfect. Smart fan settings. You adjust temperature curves. And since all the fans are plugged into the PC is handling it all. CPU fan warning. Nice. CPU temperature. Oh, I need to set up the temperature probes.
Oh.
I forgot to do that. So what would happen then is I would have 2 extra temperature things that you could use to help determine temperature inside. And I'll probably need to look online. I love that this goes deep. Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and then if you look at the very end, you can see it changing too.
Yeah.
There's a little slot behind that little front plate, and you can see it changing back there too.
And then this thing's got an RGB pattern down here on the
Oh, that's cool.
power supply, but it can also be controlled by the motherboard.
That's cool.
That is so crazy. And actually, this thing's quiet.
Yeah, I barely hear it now.
And that's with this microphone up in the mode of the room. When it's like right here and I'm talking normal, you probably can't really hear it at all. With me just talking like this.
No, all I hear is a very slight.
Yeah. That is nuts. Dude, this would be great. Alright, so I just need to set up the temperature sensors. So, back to my stream. Let's go back to the lobby now because we're done with this thing. So again, the machine's posting, guys. Let me go back to my view here. My main scene. So, the machine's posting. Everything is ready on it. It's working. I've just now got to install Windows. I will be taking pictures of the way my office space and studio space was set up before and after. I need to remember to do the before because I always forget that. I get so excited about getting something set up. I forget to do the before pictures. So I'm going to make sure to do before pictures, get this thing installed, and then do an after. So that'll be another video. And again, I know this isn't an arcade video, but as I said in the beginning, part of my motivation for getting this system is so that I can feel productive when I'm making new content for the channel that I otherwise couldn't broadcast. I'll now be able to broadcast on Twitch. Also, I do have 1 or 2 people on Patreon that I wanted to offer them something for. So this gives me the ability to create more content of behind the scenes stuff and be able to offer it to those people. So, again, like, share, subscribe, all that happy stuff, and we will see you next time. So, thanks again for joining us. Make sure to check out the links above for some of my other videos, and definitely smash that subscribe button. Also, make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any episodes. I'm continually trying to grow this channel, so make sure to like, comment, and share on all your favorite social media platforms. To find more content for this channel, check out the following locations. YouTube is the primary location where I publish the final versions of my how-to videos. I use Facebook for communication, notices about upcoming videos, behind-the-scenes pictures and videos, and the occasional live stream. For live streams, I primarily use Twitch, as it generally provides the least latency for the closest to real-time response rate currently available. I will occasionally multicast to Facebook and Twitch at the same time, but Twitch generally seems to have the least delay, so I prefer it for streaming events. And as always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.